How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Day Dave, and this is post episode 19 live stream. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's having a fantastic day today. And let's see who is out there already in the crowd. We've got Jody. Hey, Jody, how you doing tonight? Hopefully you're having a great day so far. And Hillbilly Farmer, how's it going? Saying hi to Jody and also saying hello, Big Daddy. How have you? We're gonna get those out early tonight. How are you and the family? We are doing fantastic. It's been a really, really good day today. Did you have a safe Halloween? We did, Hillbilly Farmer. We ended up going out to my sister-in-law's, and we just kind of wandered around her neighborhood and picked up our two nieces and went out with her. Went out with their father. Their mother is actually got a 2-week-old at home now, so she was at home nursing and couldn't really partake in the festivity. Couldn't partake in the festivities. I said we're going to get this out early tonight. Oh, goodness. How about yourself, Hillbilly Farmer? How are you doing tonight? Let's see. We're going to wait just a few more minutes, see how many people join us tonight. Let's see. Just double checking something really quick on my back end. Okay, we got everything in the green. Yep, everything's in the green. Perfect. Okay. Minimize that. So we got a fair bit to do here tonight on stream. I'm going to go ahead and move my laptop because it's on my lap at the moment. And it sitting there for 3 hours is not going to be comfortable. Let's see. Jody says, "How is your day?" It's fantastic, Jody. Been very, very busy at work, so I was really thrilled once I got out and was able to just kind of wind down and relax. Had to burn the midnight oil, as they say. I ended up staying really late today, just making sure I'm getting everything done. Being the newest person in the division, I want to make sure that I'm hitting it hard and, that I'm shining above the rest, kind of thing. So we'll see how things are going. And so far my boss is really happy with how things are going with myself and the department as a whole. So keep my fingers crossed. Hillbilly Farmer says she is good. Excellent. Glad to hear that. And Jody says it's a good day. Awesome, Jody. Glad to hear it. See, we're going to give this at least one more minute. See if anybody else joins us right now. I think it's just the three of us at the moment, but as we all know, those numbers can change. Let's see. Dust Bunny will be here. She's eating dinner. Oh, nice. Glad to hear it. Can't wait to see her. Like I said, we'll give it just one more minute and we'll go ahead and get to rolling. I'll let everybody know what's been going on, what we got to do here on the farm. As we sit here and watch my avatar, just kind of looking out into the horizon there. Just ever so, jauntily, I think it's the right word. Just, looking around, enjoying the views. And who wouldn't enjoy these kind of views? Yep, I enjoy them. Let's see. Jody says 38 degrees in Cedartown. Whoo! That's cold. I think last night was the coldest it's been in the entire season. It got down into I think in the upper 40s around here, but it shot back up. It got into the mid 70s for a high today, and I think tomorrow's going to be in the 80s again. So yeah, it's not looking good around here, but this is about the time where things kind of goes like a roller coaster. You're up a couple of days, you're down a couple of days, up a couple and down a couple, and then eventually it just starts getting cold. Unfortunately, I've always said that Florida is the land of two seasons. And typically I say it's, well, depending on how blunt I want to be, but it's either summer or death. And what I mean by that is everything either looks like it's dead, like the trees have no leaves or whatnot, or it's lush green and hot as all can be. It is just wild on how there's very little in between. And coming from Michigan, you had all four seasons. You had, your summer, winter, fall, and autumn. Yeah, all those. I'm sorry, summer, winter, fall, and spring. You had the whole, range of things, and just throughout those kind of time frames, you had, your general ups and downs, but they were the trends that kind of maintained throughout the seasons. Not here. It's either, blazing hot or freezing cold. Very little in between. You maybe get 1 or 2 weeks worth of really nice, good weather, maybe upper 60s, lower 70s. But that's about it. That's about it. Let's see. Uh, did your daughter have a good Halloween? She had an amazing Halloween. Holy smokes. I have never seen a 2-year-old do what she did. So we ended up, like I said, going to my sister-in-law's, and we got her just a little. If you remember, like the old McDonald's tubs, like those little trick or treat tubs that you used to get at McDonald's, the little looked like little pumpkins with the jack o' lantern face painted onto them. We got her one of those, and she just wanted to carry that thing around everywhere. So she refused to hold our hands throughout most of the trip, but she was walking everywhere. We would take her up to the bowls or the people handing out candy, and we would say trick or treat, and they would just hold down the bowl for her. And of course, because she's almost 2, she doesn't know what she's doing. She just reaches in and grabs a whole handful, a big old wad of candy, and throws it into her bucket. And throughout the entire walk, whenever we're walking in between places, she would grab a piece of candy, look at it, throw it back in. Grab another piece of candy, look at it, throw it back in. And that was the entire time. So whenever we were between stops, she was just doing that, just back and forth, into the bucket, out of the bucket. Didn't try to eat any of it, didn't try to do anything like that, but just was having a good old time, just like she'd won the lottery. People are giving her free stuff, and she doesn't know why. For all she knows, is because she's incredibly cute, and I wouldn't disagree with her. But yeah, but then she'd go up to like people that she normally would just be completely averted to. She would never go up to some random person, but all of a sudden she just was like the social butterfly, and she was going up to random people, and it's you know kind of worried me when I started thinking about it. It's like, oh dear Lord, all they've got to do is offer her candy, and then she's gone. So just makes me make sure I pay way more attention than what I was even before. And it's not like I would just lackadaisically not pay attention to what my daughter's doing. So it's kind of double-edged sword in my book, but it is what it is. Let's see. And Jody also says tomorrow's high is 67. Whew. Okay, now that's a nice high. I can live with that. It's one of those upper 60s, lower 70s, and I'm a happy, happy boy. It just, that's about the butter zone right there. I love that kind of temperature, and unfortunately, you don't see it much around here. That's the kind of the bummer, and that's the perfect weather where you can open up the house, open up the windows. 67 might be a little bit chilly. You might still get a little bit cool, like it'd be too cool in the house kind of thing. But I don't know. It's one of those that, well, actually, if I didn't have my daughter around, then we would definitely be opening it up. If the little one wasn't around, we would have every single window open in that kind of weather. We used to have the windows open. It was 50s outside. It was crazy. I don't know how we did that. Let's see. So let's go ahead and get this party rolling. So as you can see, I've got to plow out this field. That's the start, and I've got several contracts. A couple of them I've already accepted. They're all fertilizing at the moment, and we might even get a mowing contract or two done today. So we'll see how things go. But desperately, desperately needed to get this done. Now you can see we're already in the first growth stage here, which is okay. I needed to get this done. It's just one of those I didn't get done during the episode because for some reason when I recorded episode 19, I thought I was way over on time without realizing. Okay, so for those who don't know how the kind of behind the scenes of the recordings work, what ends up happening, at least the way I do it, is I'll sit there and record like one large chunk of an episode. And then what happens is after I'm done recording, I'll whittle it down into the kind of final episodes that we all see on YouTube and all that. Well, what ends up happening is I just see an overall amount of recording hours. Oops, 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 oops. So at that point, I think I saw like 3 hours. And it was a lot of it was because, and I completely forgot about this at the end of the recording when I did my sign off and all this. I didn't remember it until I started doing the editing that I had to have walked away to do one thing or another while I was in the middle of recording, which often, very often happens. I will just walk away and have to, help my wife with something really fast or take a look at something, you know, number of reasons. Let the dogs out, whatever. Well, what ended up happening is that when I started whittling it down, it's like, oh no, I forgot. I took all this time off. I was off doing this, I was off doing that. And that 3 hours of recording time all of a sudden turned into about 40 minutes or so of actual playable content, like something that I would actually put into the into the episode kind of thing. So it was just one of those that by the end of it, it wasn't nearly as much as I thought it was going to be, and it was a lot shorter than what I had originally intended. But it's okay, because one of those that gives me another thing to do when we come onto the live streams. So it's not, I mean, try to shoot for anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour is generally about what my episodes tend to go for, and that's about the maximum I can get away with is about an hour and 5 minutes with the what's it called, the resolution that I record at. So it's one of those that if I were to go anything longer than that, then the file wouldn't be accepted by YouTube. They would just say, no, the file's too big, you gotta reduce it, kind of thing. So just one of those that's kind of the behind the scenes and kind of the things I ran into with that most recent episode. Let's see. Are you ready for the holidays? So, that's actually, Jody, kind of a double-edged sword kind of question. Um, Financially, yes. We're ready for the holidays. My wife, bless her, she is an amazing, amazing woman. She does this thing where I forget what it's called, but it's basically a couponing app where you go through and say, oh, well, this item that I was going to buy at like Walmart or Publix or insert name of store anywhere. This item I'm going to buy is $1 off or whatever. You purchase this item, you get $1 back, and it goes right into this application. Well, eventually, they will send you either this one I'm thinking of will give you points, and those points you can then use to redeem for gift cards and all this stuff. And she has got like so many points that she could get at least $200 to $300 of gift cards and stuff, and she always saves them throughout the entire year just for the holidays kind of thing. So we can get a whole bunch of like Amazon gift cards, Walmart gift cards, I mean just whatever. But then she's also got others where they pay her cash every couple of months, like I think it's every quarter for like, I think it's called Rakuten is the one I'm thinking of. But yeah, I mean she does all that kind of stuff, and she is just amazing at it. So whenever it comes to the holidays, it's always, it's a lot less jarring than normal. And we've got a big family, especially on my wife's sister's side of the family. She's got the two nieces there, and my wife has, let me think, one brother and, let's see, two brothers and three sisters. Yes. Yes, there we go. So yeah, two brothers and three sisters, and it gets a little expensive around the holidays. So she really takes it upon herself to really kind of, buckle down and, make sure that she's saving whatever money she can, kind of thing. And it's one of those things. These are all things that we're gonna buy either way, so it really doesn't affect us anyway. Anyway, she just goes out of her way and just says, yes, I'm going to buy this thing, so therefore, let me click the button to say I'm going to buy it, and then she has to scan a receipt, whenever she does it. And it works out really nicely for us because, like I said, every winter she will have, I don't know, like $400 to $600 worth of gift cards, worth of cash back, and all this stuff. So it's really, really good. But like I was saying though, financially, yeah, we're pretty much covered for it. But for like gifts and stuff like that, it's like, I mean, she started like little bits of shopping here and there, but nothing too grand. Is a lot of little things, kind of thing. But it's finally getting to the point to where she's kind of reeling herself in when it comes to buying so many gifts for the entire family, because for years we'd spend so much money on holiday gifts for everybody in the family. We'd spend tons and tons of money. And then we started, well, we didn't start it, but we had our daughter, and I finally was talking to her. It's like, look, we really need to rein this in and put a firm cap on every single person in the family so we can have the money necessary to spoil our daughter, kind of thing. It's like, this is going to be her time now. And she was totally like on board with it. She's like, no, absolutely, we need to rein this in. It's one thing when it's just you and I, and we can kind of blow our money on everybody else, kind of thing. But it's different. We've got a kid, and we want to make sure that she has a great Christmas and all that stuff. So one of those kind of sorry, I need to think about what I need. I need to get a roller. Yes. Okay. All right. So we're gonna run up to the shop real quick. I'm gonna I'm gonna run up to the shop real quick and grab a roller. Let me read the chat real quick before I get going. Jody says, "On your more, get your go." Not sure what you mean there, bud. I like to learn how to do that and play on American Falls tonight. Nice. That's a great map. Love that map. So the app that I'm talking about, oh goodness, what is it called? I mean, there's several of those applications. Like I said, one of them's called Rakuten. Another one's called oh goodness. You know what? I can do this. I can text my wife and ask her what the app is. Let's do that, because, like I said, she saves so much money throughout the year. What's the app called that you use to save all the money for Christmas? There we go. And then we'll see what she says back to that. But it's one of those that, like I said, she just does a fantastic job, and she will have hundreds upon hundreds of dollars on there at any given time throughout the year. And then all of a sudden, just boom, we'll just rack it out all at once, cash out, and that's a good chunk of Christmas just done, kind of thing. And like I said, it's all stuff that we're gonna buy anyways, kind of thing. It's not like we're just going above and beyond. It's like, oh well, we have to buy this car battery that doesn't belong in any of our vehicles to save 2 cents, kind of thing. It's like, no, I mean, just the other day we bought some what are those, the Tide Pods, not the Tide Pods, the Gain Pods, for laundry, and they had a deal on there. I think it was like save $2 or $3, and you get the you just got to scan the receipt. It takes like a day or so to process, and after it processes, boom, you're good to go. You don't have to do anything else besides that. So it's super, super simple. It's pretty straightforward. And yeah, as long as you got a phone that takes decent pictures and whatnot, they don't don't require too much else other than that. Let's see, we need a roller. Let's see, rollers. Just want something that's gonna be relatively good but relatively cheap. Let's go. Let's see, that's 12, that's 9. I think we can deal with the 9. Let's see. Because I don't need the stones. I mean, I could use the stones. You know what? Should I just get a stone picker? I'm going to have to roll it anyways, so I can... Yeah, you know what? I'm going to be kicking myself if I don't stone pick it. We've got all those stones over there. We've got a place to store them there at the farm. I might as well. Let's see, did she reply back? Nope, not yet. Make sure I actually sent her the text and not to some random person on my phone. No, yeah, sent it to her. I've been known to do that from time to time. I'll go to text somebody and all of a sudden you're like, what are you talking about? It's like, oops, wrong person. Like one time I was trying to send my wife the amount of money that we had in our bank account, and because she asked me, because she was going shopping, and she's like, hey, can you text me what we have so I know what I'm working with, kind of thing. And I'm like, oh yeah, no problem. So I text her, and turns out it was my boss at the time, and he just sent me like this message back. He's like, am I paying you like too much, or am I paying you not enough? I can't remember exactly what he wrote, but it was one of those kind of like snarky returns. It's like, oh, It's like, that wasn't meant for you. He's like, yeah, I figured, but I also figured it'd be funny to reply with that. So it's like, oops. Let's see. Jody also says, on your mark, let's go. That's what I mean. There we go. Whoops. And I push buttons. And then I like to learn to do new things. So the app that my wife uses is called Ibotta. And like I said, it's one of those that all you got to do is, you go on it, create a profile. After you create a profile, for every item you get, I think you get either points or money back. It's something along those lines. You got to scan the receipt after you go there. It works at pretty much every major retail store, Walmart, and then there's all sorts of different stores on there. But Walmart, Publix are on there. After you select the items, you go to the store, you buy them. Once you buy them, you scan the receipt and you're good to go, kind of thing. And then you can use the points for, return, or not returns, but for like credit towards gift cards and stuff like that. And it works, at pretty much all the major stores, Walmart again, Amazon, all those. So it's really kind of convenient to be able to just, scan and go, kind of thing. And now that this stream up into this point has basically turned into a advertisement for Ibotta, you're welcome, Ibotta. Not intentionally, though, I promise you. Let's see. Jody with the laughing. Oh, goodness. But no, it's just, like I was saying, though, it's one of those that, we just got to figure out what we're going to get everybody. The unfortunate part is my father, um, we're basically his whole Christmas now. My mother passed away several years ago on the day after Thanksgiving, and now he's basically all by himself, and we're his whole Christmas. So it basically goes from uh, us, always wanting to make his Christmas really special because he really doesn't get much from anybody else, kind of thing. So we're always getting him, all sorts of gifts and all that. And the only other people besides ourselves and our daughter that we really kind of go out all out for is our nieces, because they were like the first kids in our life and all that. And we basically, spent a really good chunk of our time when they were really young, uh, raising them and doing all that stuff. I mean, we were babysitting them all the time. So it was just one of those that, we all grew very, very close, and we always try and make, the holidays really special for them and whatnot. And again, we had to rein it back in and whatnot because of, us having a daughter now. She is our priority, and it's one of those that we just gotta figure out what it is that we're going to do, kind of thing. But it's funny because now we're talking about the holidays. Um, my birthday is next Wednesday, on November 8th. And it's one of those that my wife keeps asking me. It's like, so, honey, what do you want for your birthday? Or what do you want to do on your birthday? And I keep telling her, I have no idea. I have no idea what I want to do, anything. I am absolutely clueless right now. And it's one of those things that it's driving her nuts that I won't just answer a question, but it's one of those like I don't need anything and I don't necessarily want anything. So it's just one of those that I'm not really going to buy something just to buy it kind of thing. So I don't know. It's just like it's driving her nuts. I think we finally determined on what we're going to do for my birthday. I guess we're all gonna go out to dinner. We're gonna have my dad, myself, and my wife and my daughter. We're all gonna go out to. We're thinking potentially, um, like one of those hibachi restaurants, a real fancy one that's in our area. So we were thinking about going to do something like that. But my wife today asked me, she's like, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I'm like, I'm sorry, sweetie, but I have no idea. I am not going to be any help to you. And she keeps trying to come up with these really elaborate things that she wants to get for me because it's my 40th birthday, so she really wants to make it special. And bless her heart, I wish I was a little bit more help in regards to this, but it's just one of those. I don't need anything. I've got all my needs covered, and I don't want anything. So it's just one of those. I don't know. I just have no clue. And she tried to get me tickets to a Detroit Red Wings game. I think I mentioned this earlier in a previous stream. She tried to get me tickets to go and see the Wings. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. It's one of those. She tried to get me like really special tickets, like front row, center ice kind of tickets, but they got sold out, and it just ended up not working out. Which, I mean, when everything's all said and done, I'm actually kind of glad it didn't work out because she wouldn't have been able to go, my daughter wouldn't have been able to go, and that means I would have been in Michigan by myself without my family, and it's just not something that was too appealing to me. So, although I think it's sometimes a good thing to take a vacation, how do I want to say that? It's okay to take time from each other, kind of thing, but I just don't feel I need it. And it's one of those that I know there's the possibility here soon I might have to go and be away for at least a week for my job. They might be calling me into the office here for a week. So it's just one of those that I don't necessarily want to be out of town for, X number of days for a game, and then all of a sudden, hey, we need you into the office for a week to, do some on-site stuff, and then all of a sudden, I'm gone 2 weeks of a month, or it could be even longer because, who knows how long they're going to want me in town, kind of thing. But just one of those that when everything's all said and done, just I'm glad that didn't necessarily work out. And then she was trying to get me these VIP passes to some event she was talking about, but it was going to be like $600 and whatnot. I was like, no, that don't spend that kind of money on me. I don't need something like that. Although the event sounded cool, it's just not one of those where I would have been. It wouldn't have been worth the $600 kind of thing. I've been, and not only that, but it would have been at a very inconvenient time of the year. Got some stuff going on around then, and not too sure how things are going to kind of work out around then. So I didn't want to just commit that kind of money, that amount of time, and then potentially have to cancel last minute and whatnot. And it's not like I could have gotten our money back, kind of thing. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm trying to figure out what it is that I can do, or that I can tell her, because I know she's starting to drive. She's starting to get driven nuts because I'm not helping at all, kind of thing. Let's see. Hillbilly Farmer says Rakuten is one. Yes, Rakuten is one of them that she uses, and Ibotta is the other. And then Jody says, happy early birthday. Well, thank you very much. I'm hoping to be able to do a stream for my birthday. Kind of hop on and, just kind of see how everyone's doing and see how things kind of go. Why? There we go. There we go. So, yeah, so it's one of those I'd love to be able to kind of get on and do a birthday stream. It might be later than usual. I'm not 100% certain. It might be like a 10 o'clock or something. Like I said, because we're going out to dinner, I don't know if it's going to be one of those, if I'm going to be on at like 9:30, or if I'm going to be able to just, drop everything, and come right home, kind of thing. It all depends on what she has kind of up her sleeves, because that's something that she likes to do, is she likes to surprise me. And if we're already out and about at dinner, she might be like, oh, well, let's go here and, see this, and let's go here and do that, kind of thing. So I'm hoping to kind of work it out to have a cool little birthday stream, but we'll see. We'll see how everything kind of goes. And then Jody also says, download app right now. Nice. Yeah, like I said, check it out, because it's one of those, like I said, what we end up doing is we just save all of our points and all of our money for Christmas. And then once everything's said and done, I mean, we have hundreds upon hundreds of dollars by the end of the year, kind of thing. And we reclaim everything all at once, and then that's money that we don't have to spend on Christmas, and it just lessens the blow, especially, with how things are going nowadays, with how expensive everything is and whatnot. I mean, saving a buck here and there is awesome. You don't actually like see it in the savings at the time of sale, but getting that big influx of cash, especially right before Christmas, really helps. And it's all that kind of stuff that, like I said, you're buying either way. You're just taking, 10 minutes to see what kind of things are on sale, kind of thing. So it works out very, very nicely, in my opinion. You know what? And that's what I'm gonna verify just how much she has on there. Oops, let me finish typing before I just start making zigzag patterns on the field. There, we'll see what she has to say. Yeah, like I said, she's amazing with that thing. It's Me, I have a really bad memory, so it's one of those that I would forget all about it. I'd forget to do it before I went to the store. I'd forget to do it, after I got the receipt. I mean, me typically, because everything's electronic nowadays, using either debit cards or whatever, I balance my books all electronically. So a receipt is rather pointless to me. I don't go out of my way to keep the receipts or anything unless it's like an item that I potentially would need to return. If I were to buy something, that's a high ticket price or anything like that, then I would like save the receipts. But if I'm going to a grocery store, then no, I'm not going to save the receipts. I'm just going to go ahead and you know just throw it away, or tell the cashier to keep it, because it's just an extra piece of paper I don't need, kind of thing. Let's see. So and actually that kind of, mentioning the holidays with Thanksgiving coming up and all that, it'd actually be a good time to mention that towards the end of the month, I think it's the 26th to the 2nd. I'm not 100% certain, but there may be like a week-long hiatus on the channel. The family and I are actually going to go on vacation um, for the week. So we actually got a nice little cabin out in the middle of nowhere, and we're just gonna hold up in there for the week and just enjoy the holidays, kind of thing. And again, because she's so amazing about these apps that I bought as the Rakutens and all that stuff. I think it's Rakuten works with some of the kind of travel sites as well. So if you're going on vacation or you're booking on what is it? What's that one? Airbnb, then you can get cash back, kind of thing. And it's like a certain percentage back. Yeah, so she just texted me back and she said she's got like $240 on the Ibotta right now. So it's one of those like where am I going? She does an amazing job. I mean, who couldn't use an extra $200 around Christmas? And that's, like I said, that's the whole reason why she does it, is because she can just sit there and be good to go, kind of thing. She doesn't have to put in too terribly much effort into it, kind of thing. The only amount of effort that she really has to put into is just verifying that these are the products that she wants or going to purchase that day. All right, son. A little bit extra stones there. Got about, what was that, 700 liters, just shy of it. So now let's get rid of, whoops, let's get rid of the stone picker. And what, can I plant anything right now? Because that just dawned on me. We're in planting season for corn, sunflower, and soybeans, sorghum, grapes, poplar, grass, oilseed radish, and alfalfa. Oh, and mile and white grapes. Can we... Does mile produce a swath? I don't remember if it does or not. I don't think it does. Because I can't plant... Oh, goodness, that's actually really, really bad. If I plant this now, I can get it out in September. And if I get it out in September, then I could do oats. Let's do that. It'll just be an extra harvest. Let's plant some mile. How's that sound? We can get like 2 crops in a season. Let's see, we'll get this right here. What was the symbol for it? Looks like a weed. There it is. Ah, too many buttons being pushed at once. Sorry, I was trying to close the windows and pay more attention again to things other than driving. Let's see. What kind of crop do you go and plant? So I think I'm going to go with this mile here. Down at the bottom there, it says I'm in the second phase of planting, or the second part of planting, and it looks like if I plant it now, I could harvest it in September, and if I harvest in September, I should be able to replant oats right on the spot. So I think that'll kind of work out best. It looks like this has a really fast growth cycle. And what I'm specifically looking for is a product that's going to produce straw, because I really need straw right now. I'm starting to run low and just have to get that done. But I also have all that grass from the new field that we made. So I need to, well, once that's ready to harvest, which is next month, I'll be able to really like turn up the pace on all the product that we'll have around the farm here. Like I said, that at least that first harvest for the mega field, that's going to be silage, and that's just going to be sold flat out. I'm not gonna keep it. I'm not gonna hold on to it at all, because I think it's just going to be better suited for sale, and I can make a ton of money on just selling it off and kind of going from there. Let's see. Jody says, I never use the crop calendar. It's one of those that, because I'm running seasons and because I'm running all the stuff I have, it's one of those that, you know, I tend to use the crop calendar because of the seasons and all that. But it's just, let's see. Let's back this up. There we go. But it's one of those that it just offers that next level of complication. Like I said, my ultimate goal is to get straw, and I need to get it sooner rather than later. Well, I didn't realize that when, you know, I ripped up the ground here. Well, I'm not in the right planting season for anything that'll produce straw, which is kind of a bummer, you know. But this, I think, will work out just nicely, unless I misread the crop calendar, and it turns out that this particular crop is going to not be ready to harvest in September, but rather like the year after September kind of thing. I don't know if it's going to take more than a year to grow. I don't think that's the case. I think it's going to, you know, just be a few months and it'll be good. But we'll see. We'll see how everything goes, because, I mean, worst case scenario, I rip this out of the ground and I plant in oats kind of thing. So it's not like I'm going to be out anything more than just some seed, a little bit of fertilizer, and some lime. So I'm not like terribly worried about, you know, wasting anything. Especially now, we're in a really pretty place right now when it comes to the items that we did in the last episode. So the productions that we did, we ended up doing the carpentry that's making all those wood pellets from all the wood chips, which is just going berserk right now. I think last I checked there was almost like 40,000 liters or something like that. And we're in May. We're at 7 o'clock in the morning or 7:30 in the morning at May. I think we installed that last month, so it's been running for a month. We're at 40,000 plus liters. It's just, it's going berserk right now. And we've got tons and tons of lime. So much lime from that stone factory. I'll be honest with you, that stone factory is bananas. At a 1 to 10 ratio, I am making lime, and all it costs is stones. I know there's that one kind of stone crusher mod where it's a 1 to 4 ratio, but it also requires water. So you're having to supply it with a ton of water for the recipe to get it to run, kind of thing. So it's just that one extra step kind of thing. But this only requires stones. The stone factory only requires stones. It makes it into lime, and it's just fantastic. You don't have to do anything outside of that. And again, a 1 to 10 ratio is berserk, especially with the amount of stones we had. I think we had 130,000 liters of stones. That's 1.3 million. Wait, yeah, 1.3 million. Yes, 130,000, 1.3 million. Yes. Let's see. Let's catch up to the. Whoops. I'm still rolling. I love having freedom to plant what you want. Yeah, so that is definitely a really nice thing about turning off the seasons, is that you don't have to be, so like attached at the hip to the crop calendar. That is very nice, but it's one of those that I feel for the Let's Play series, and because this is so married to the Let's Play series, the live streams are just the kind of getting the work done for the live streams. I'm sorry, for the Let's Plays. It allows us the opportunity to be able to just go through and kind of stick with that, with the slightly more realistic timetables kind of thing, the low crop calendars. And it's also nice because you get the maps where it's actually the geo is unique to the map, so it just gives you that next level deep of immersion into the map, especially with like the UK maps, or the what is it, the UK maps in particular, the European maps just in general. They tend to have a different crop calendar built in, so again, it's just that nice little layer of realism. And anybody who follows the channel, who knows me, you know that I just love when map makers just make the map as realistic as possible, kind of thing. The only time where I can say where I've really kind of given a lot of grace to realism, quote unquote, is the map Frontier. And the reason is that could be a realistic map, like circa the year 3000 kind of thing. Like, it's just one of those like post-apocalyptic kind of maps where it's at least bound in what could be reality. It may not be reality now, but that's also why a map like Close to Home I don't give as much grace to, is that one's not really bound in reality. It's more like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids kind of feeling. No, don't get me wrong, it's a great map. I like the concept and the creativity of Close to Home. Oh, what just happened? Oh, I must have not pushed the raise button, the left bumper. Whoa. Must not push the left bumper hard enough. Let's see, what do we got going on here in the chat? We've got Luke Sipe says single or multi, or multiple. So Luke, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. I am in multiplayer right now for purposes of the Let's Play. If that's your question. Banner, hey, how's it going? He says, hi BDD Gaming. Water is used for stone crusher to keep the dust down. Otherwise, the whole countryside would be a cloud of dust. Yes, 100%. And don't get me wrong, I love that mod. It is a fantastic mod. With the exception of every time that I've ever used that specific mod, the stone crusher that requires the water as well. One of the updates had lights like automatic lights that were put onto it, and for some reason, whenever the lights turn on, it looks all polygonal. Like just everything just looks really kind of weird, and I don't know why. Now I don't know if anybody else has ever experienced that issue with that specific mod. Um, but yeah, no, that's just something I've always seen, and that was the reason why I actually didn't go with it on this map, is I didn't want to have to deal with, every time I drove by or drove to it, to see all the like weird polygonal lighting. It's just a weird one. But anyways, Banner, how's things going today? How you doing tonight? Let's see. Jody says, I will never like the realism in the game, playing the game and having fun. What I like, you know what? Hey, and more power to you. Like I keep saying, that's what makes this game great. Is, if you got a player who wants to be ultra realistic, hey, the game can do that. If you want somebody who's, like I said, a DJ Goham who's, harvesting mega fields in one pass kind of thing. And let's face it, I'm sure we've all seen, either his Let's Plays or his mods, that he's made. he makes some pretty out there mods, and they're pretty funny. I mean, I've seen him do that. What was it, Eureka Farms for last year? What was it, FS19? And he had I think it was not a windrower, but a forage wagon that would literally pick up like 100 meters away on both sides of it just had like this weird pickup, and it was just 100 meters wide. It was the funniest thing I'd seen, in all of Farming Simulator. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, most realistic, absolutely not. Let's see. Let's take a look at this field. All right, that looks planted to me. And now we just got to get the roller. Let's go ahead and park this. Oop, I need to wash it real quick. Gotta remember, I've got the sprayer now. I can keep things nice and clean so they don't get all nasty on me as fast. There we go. Just keep them sprayed off. And I don't know if anybody can confirm this or disprove it, but I feel like if I keep my equipment clean, it tends to not wear out as fast. And I don't know if that's just me kind of making this up in my own head or whatever the case may be, but I just feel like it just doesn't wear out as quickly as if I just let it go and just let it, get all dirty and nasty and just stay like that. Again, might just be me. I might just be making that up. All right, let's park this and let's go get the roller. There we go. Now let's check the chat real quick and see what everyone has to say. We've got, let's see, Dust Bunny. Hey, how's it going? Good evening, Mr. D. Hope you and your family are doing well. We are doing fantastic, Dust Bunny. How are you doing tonight? Hopefully you're having a great night so far. She also says, hello, Miss Hillbilly Farmer. Banner says, hi, Dust Bunny. Dust Bunny says, hello, Mr. Banner. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Jody. And thank you, Miss Hillbilly Farmer, for letting Big D know I was on my way. I appreciate it. And I also appreciate it. Let's see. I believe dirty equipment does deteriorate the faster rate. Coded into the game, I think I remember hearing. I think that I heard that too. That's why I was kind of, wishy-washy on it. It's like, I think I remember hearing that, but one of those I couldn't remember if it was just maybe in my own head. You never know sometimes. I am turning 40 on Wednesday, so it's one of those, don't know if it's one of those kind of feeling my age or something. I don't know. But, yeah, 40. Gonna be 40 this year. Can't believe it. It's one of those I vividly remember being being a little kid and be like, oh, I can't wait to grow up. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. And now it's like, no, no. What was I thinking? Why did I ever think that was. Now I got responsibilities. I have bills. This whole adulting thing, it's not as much as it cracked up to be. Yeah, I get to stay up whenever I want to, but. But in the same breath, I'm also a parent and, married and love it. Just, I would never trade that for anything. Anything. I think I said this on stream, but I don't remember. But my daughter is the one thing in my life that I never knew I absolutely needed. Is one of those, you know, her being my first, one of those I knew I wanted to be a father, but I was always in the back of my mind, I was always scared, am I ready? All this kind of stuff. And it was one of those that after she got here, I was scared, but in a different way. I wasn't scared that I was going to fail or hurt her, like drop her, do something silly kind of thing. Like those were all my superficial fears before having her. But what my fear shifted to after that was, and to this day, of how am I going to protect her in the world that we live in today? There's so many weird things going on in the world that I'm not always going to be able to protect her from or keep her from, or all that stuff. And it's one of those that I sit there and wonder every single day, because I'll read the news and be like, wow, that's a thing nowadays? Okay, well, it's something else I need to keep on my radar or whatever. And it's just one of those, like, obviously I'm not going to be able to keep her from everything, and I don't necessarily want to just put her into a bubble. She needs to be able to experience life. My fear is that, am I going to be able to equip her with the tools necessary to be able to deal with those things when she comes across them, if she comes across them, kind of thing. And but it's one of those things, though, that even though those are fears, those are things that I worry about, kind of thing, it's one of those things too that those are far, far outshadowed by just seeing the person that she is from day to day, seeing what she's growing into, the new things that she's discovering. That's something that I didn't put any thought into before becoming a parent. Was, now that I'm a parent, I get to see, like, experience these things that she experiences, like, fresh. Like today she started doing this thing where we'll say we'll say bye bye, but we'll sing it to her. It's like, bye bye baby, and then we'll finish the song, and all of a sudden, just bye, in her little squeaky little voice. And it's the most adorable, cute thing in the world. But she only just started doing this, and it was one of those that got me thinking. It's like, wow, she's learning how to do all these new things, and all these new things that she gets to experience. It's one of the coolest things. It's one of the greatest things about being a parent, is that you get to kind of relive all these firsts that you got to go through when you were their age but don't remember. You get to live through them, kind of thing, and experience all these things that they get to experience for the first time, and you're in awe that they're in awe. You get to see the amazed look on their face when they get to see an animal at the zoo for the first time, and they're kind of sitting there and analyzing, absorbing it, kind of thing. So it's just, yeah, like I said, she is the one thing in my life I never knew I needed. Let's see. Let me catch up with the chat here. Let's see. So, oh, let me go ahead and stop before I just start making zigzag patterns in the field. Let's see. Dust Bunny says the permit was approved. Hey, nice, and has now been issued. Talk to the contractor again, and we're hoping, weather permitted, that it start within the next couple of weeks. Dust Bunny, that's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations. So happy for you. That's amazing. So hopefully the next few weeks here, they'll start working on the little mother pad there, and you'll be good to go. That'll be so cool. So happy for you. Let's see. Hillbilly Farmer says, "Good evening, Dust Bunny." We got Dust Bunny saying, "40, still a baby. Wait until you're 68 like me." Aw. Well, one of those things that like I said, I don't. I know why I thought the way I did when I was younger. It's like, oh, I could stay up late. I can eat candy, whenever I want. And all this, stupid kid things that your mind goes through. But it's just one of those, like, now that I'm adult, like, don't get me wrong. I like where I'm at in life. I love being a father and all that stuff. But, yeah, real life, like, hits you hard kind of thing. But it's also one of those where you eventually rise to the occasion. You step up your game, and you just do it. You be an adult. Which unfortunately you can't say too often nowadays. with all the things kind of going on in the world, can't often say that adults are adults, especially because, like I mentioned before, especially here lately, I've been watching a lot of like police body cam channels on YouTube and whatnot, and that's I was talking to Rusty Money, how he mentioned he was a former cop and is now doing other things in his life, and it's like police officers are like they're just adult babysitters, really. Like, and again, no disrespect to any law enforcement officer when I say that, but you see all these body cams of all these drunk people who are, just causing all sorts of, mayhem and, just acting a fool. Just, it's just nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And then you layer in, any kind of homeless interactions that the police have where, they're dealing with somebody with mental issues, or all that kind of stuff. It's like I said, they're just underpaid adult babysitters, and unfortunately too, it's a dangerous kind of babysitting. It's one where the babies can hurt you back, kind of thing. It's just wild. Let's see. Banner says, your fears of parenthood are the same fears a lot of parents have these days. Not quite the same world we grew up in. 100%. 100%. It's wild. I feel like the world has changed so much in just the past 5 years. Let alone to say from where it was when I was a kid. I grew up in the 80s, and I certainly don't remember things being like the way they are now. There's so many just wild and honestly absurd things that are going on right now. I'm not gonna elaborate on them in any kind of detail. It's just one of those. It's really scary to be a parent nowadays. There's so many weird things out there that if you're not paying attention, if you're not careful, then I don't understand how parents will just let their kids just have unfettered access to the internet, kind of thing. There was a big issue with YouTube a long time ago. I don't know if it's still a thing, but it was basically where parents were getting upset because they were finding their kids watching what was considered, according to YouTube, child appropriate content. But it was because the people who were creating the content were basically smashing all these different catchphrases or hashtags into descriptions and whatnot that would trick the algorithms into thinking that these were very popular topics and to recommend them the in the feeds, especially for children. And it'd be things like, you know, Iron Man, Frozen, Anna, all these like really popular kind of kids programming and television kind of stuff. And what would happen is that really it was all these kind of really weird, um, all these really weird kind of sketches and stuff that adults would be doing dressed as these characters, but it was like very adult kind of content, like very sick kind of content kind of thing. People like, you know, like I'm not gonna, again, I'm not gonna go into a ton of detail. It was just really disgusting, very disturbing kind of stuff. But it was all like in kids characters and stuff like that. So like I think it was called Elsa Gate way back in the day, and it was just one of those like Elsa from Frozen would be chased around by Iron Man from Marvel and all these kind of things, and all of a sudden it would just turn really gory and graphic, like not kid appropriate whatsoever. So yeah, it's just one of those, you'll never know what you find on the internet nowadays, and that's why I know my daughter will not for any number of years have unfettered access to the internet kind of thing. That I know that for a fact. Thankfully I'm savvy enough with technology where I'll be able to kind of monitor that and make sure that when she does start getting older and I can start kind of letting go of the reins, for lack of a better phrase, be able to still kind of keep on top of things in the background, make sure things aren't getting inappropriate kind of thing. Let's go ahead. Whoop, wrong button. Let's see. We've got Dust Bunny says, "Ain't that the truth, Banner? It's definitely a lot different, 100%." Banner says, "It sure is, Dust Bunny. I am glad to be living in Canada." Dust Bunny says, "I live in Arkansas so far. We still have some say-so and some freedoms, like not like third world countries." Yes, 100%. Banner says, "LOL. Some adults should not have unfettered access to the internet either." 100%. 100%. Especially with things out there like TikTok and all that stuff. I mean, I personally believe that TikTok is, kind of a scourge on society right now. There's so many things going on that platform that are just driven to not good means, not to have good ends, kind of thing. But I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. I don't use it, and I never will, kind of thing. And that's a lot of that is being driven because of not knowing what, if anything, they're using our personal data for on our phones and whatever platform you're viewing their content on. Oh, I don't have any fertilizer here. Well, we'll lime it first then. But just one of those, like I said, personally, just not comfortable with it. Not, and really, any platform can get bonkers like that if the algorithms aren't tuned just right, or you get into certain algorithmic loops that just, yeah, it not always a good thing to be on the internet for anybody. Well, that is, of course, unless you're here on this channel where I try to keep appropriate and keep a good, healthy environment. I do my best, at least. As I keep saying, I think we've made a very amazing community so far, and it's one of those that it's something that I'm incredibly proud of. That we've got this kind of space on the internet where we can just come together and have fun, kind of thing. So, again, thank you all so much for making that a possibility. Let's see. I'm gonna finish out. Yeah, we'll go ahead and let it go into the other field. That's fine. I tell you what, I absolutely love this fertilizer spreader and lime spreader. 42 meters in either direction for both lime and fertilizer, and it's got a huge capacity. Look at that. One full pass around and that whole field's good. Let's see. So now we've got to run up and get some fertilizer. Boop. There we go. Zoom back in. And before I get going, let me make sure I'm all caught up here. Let's see. Dust Bunny says, are you going to homeschool because the stuff they're teaching public private schools are not good? Honestly, we're considering it. We're very much considering homeschooling. It's just one of those that because both my wife and I work, and us not not working, unfortunately, is not an option right now, or at least us both not working is not an option. It's just one of those that, in a perfect world, where, money wasn't an issue, yeah, I would homeschool her in a heartbeat. I would 100%, because, yeah, I don't trust the schools nowadays at all. It's unfortunately there's too many stories that have come out in the recent that just doesn't paint schools in a good light right now. And it's one of those that, I mean, me personally, I grew up in a town where my graduating class had 72 kids. 72. It was a small town, and it's one of those where, and I'm certain if this one teacher I had is still teaching today, that they would very likely teach the subjects that would, be on every parent's radar nowadays. And it's one of those where, like I said, this is a small town. 2,000 some people in this town, maybe, like I said, 72 kids in the graduating class, and I graduated back in 2002. But like I said, I know this one teacher, like, just the kind of the story arc, like, if they continued to progress in the way that they were, at least from high school, from when I had them in class, it would be very much a, story of, like I said, the things that, parents nowadays fear their kids are being taught. I guarantee this person would have been one of those teachers doing that. And like I mentioned, this is from back in 2002 and before, when I was in school, and it wasn't that she was teaching inappropriate content at that time, but you could tell that just the method of her teaching and the kind of ancillary topics she would bring up in class would eventually lead her to that path. And here's the things. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm 100% wrong about that kind of thing. But who knows? It's one of those that, like I said, it's one of those that the kind of trust in the public schools, and just kind of trust in general, is really faded. is really faded, and it's really sad. We used to be a very high trust society to where, we could rely on each other with very little information about each other, kind of thing. And it's really, really sad that that's no longer the case. It's one of those things that I wish that we could go back to, being able to trust, you know, somebody out on the streets, and not have to worry about, what might happen, kind of thing. But I don't think we'll ever have that world again. I don't think we'll ever live in a world where we can trust anybody at first glance, kind of thing. And it's weird. It's really weird. It's one of those that, and here's the thing: is you shouldn't necessarily ever trust somebody right off the bat. You should always vet people to make sure that they don't necessarily pose a threat. But even back from when I was a kid, I remember being able to, just not trust people, but not have to worry that there was some kind of either agenda or just something, behind the scenes that was not going to be in my best interest, kind of thing. It's one of those, my parents always taught me, respect your elders, and, do as your elders tell you to do, kind of thing. And specifically like with teachers and whatnot. And it's one of those that I'd want to be able to tell my daughter the same thing. Respect your elders and respect your teachers. But it's one of those, I don't know if I could just make that as a blanket statement anymore. It's like I said, it's weird. It's weird times that we live in. It's weird, just the kind of things that are coming to light and they're coming up in the world. I don't know. I don't know. Just one of those that I wish there wasn't a contingency of people who are so willing to make sure that everybody was talking about this kind of stuff, making sure that everybody was focused on this, and that would just allow kids just to be kids. Because that's all I want for my daughter, is just let her be a kid. Don't make her think about all this nonsense that has nothing to do with being a kid. And I think that's one of the greatest things that, like, my parents were able to give to me when I was growing up, was the ability of just being a kid. So, anywho, let's see what everyone else is saying so far. Let's see. I think I said Dust Money. Yep. Dust Money says, very sick world we're living in nowadays, 100%. Banner says, that's a good point, Dust Money, and if they had to bring up kids in the U.S. today, I would really consider homeschooling as a option as well. Yeah, it's one of those, like I said, if having a two-income household wasn't a absolute necessity right now, then I would 100% consider. And my wife's right there on board with it too. It's one of those that she would love to be able to do the homeschooling, and one, to be able to spend all that extra time with our daughter. But it's just not in the cards right now. And it's one of those, we're trying to get into a what is it, like one of those not private schools, but one of those lottery schools. Why can't I think of it off the top of my head? It's like a private school, but not. But But it's one of those kind of things too that I think, honestly, one of the biggest reasons why this stuff is coming up so much nowadays, why we're seeing so many different instances of things like this with schools, is because for the longest time, we had like my parents' approach: respect your elders and do what your teachers tell you to do. Just Max Plank, hey, how's it going? Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Um, but that kind of, blanket trust that we had, I think was taken advantage of. When everything's said and done, I think that, just trusting people full sentence stop came and kind of bit us all. Especially, parents. The parents that are living through that stuff right this second, kind of thing. And I think that if we were more involved in our children's lives, if we were more involved in the schools and all this stuff, we would have been able to weed this stuff out or potentially bring it to light sooner, kind of thing. Which is also why that if public school is in my daughter's future, it's going to be one of those things I'm going to be paying extra close attention to the teachers, to any kind of social media presence that those teachers may or may not have, kind of thing, whether it's public or private, kind of thing. And you'd be amazed on just what you'll learn if you do a quick search on, the teaching staff, kind of thing. A quick Google search will show you a lot of their stuff about, social medias, and how they present themselves in social medias is going to reflect, how they're going to present themselves in the classroom, kind of thing. So it's not even like you're going to have to do major amounts of, exhaustive research to figure out, what kind of person you're dealing with and what kind of person your child's dealing with. So I need to fertilize fields 3 and 52 with the small ones. So 3, okay, and 52. So let's go, we'll take this one to 52, because unfortunately I don't know which set of equipment I that I took out in order. I think this one was for 52, but again, I'm not 100% certain. But based on the size of the field, I'm probably going to hit it in one pass and be done with this particular set of equipment. Charter schools, yes. Hillbilly Farmer, thank you. That's exactly it. Thank you. That's the lottery school. Yep. I don't know why my mind just kind of blanked on that for some reason, but it did. Let's see. Can I get the whole width? I missed that little chunk in the corner there. Look at that beautiful field in the background. Look at that monster. I love it. I love it. All right, let's hit the other one. Nope. There we go. This one's going up to 3. All right, that's the little one by the farm. Let's see. Get that. And take one more look at the chat and see what I've missed so far. Make sure I haven't missed anything. Yep, charter schools and charter schools. Yes, that is 100% right. Yeah, we've got one just down the road from us a little ways, and it's one of those that, we hope that we'll be able to get in there, get into lottery and all that stuff. But, again, it's one of those. And also, thankfully, I live in Florida, where it's where it's one of those you can pick out the schools that you want to go to, the voucher programs and all that stuff. Oh goodness gracious, why can't I think of it? Anyways, so yeah, you can really kind of pick and choose, what, where you want to send your kid and whatnot. So I would sooner send her to a more rural and country school, where hopefully that'd be a far less prevalent than, in, let's say, a more city and more densely populated area. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gaming tonight with some friends, so I'm going to bow out of the stream. Have a good night, everyone. Hey, Banner, I thank you for joining us here for a little while. Hope you have yourself a great night and take care. And then Dust Money says, good night, Mr. Banner. Have fun. Yes, absolutely have fun. Hopefully you're playing some good stuff there. Let's see. So we're going to finish off field number 3 here real quick. Wow, is it already 11 o'clock already? You know what? Time flies when you're having fun. That is by far one of the most true statements I think has ever been stated, ever. One of those sayings. I can't think of the actual word I'm looking for, but the saying, time flies when you're having fun, it is 100% accurate. I tell you what, even though we're kind of talking on some heavy subjects and whatnot tonight, which is, typically not where I try and go with these streams. I try and keep it a little bit more lighthearted and a little bit more fun and whatnot, but, certainly these kind of discussions are not outside of the realm of possibility. Let's see. I don't think I can get there from this side. Nope. I'll have to go through the farm and back out the other end. We'll go through the fence over here. There we go. I think it's this one down at the end. Yeah, here we go. All right. This is working out very nicely. We'll just finish this one up real quick. Super, super fast. And there we go. Nope, wrong way. And now, this one's field 69 up there in the northwest. Okay. So one thing I want to take a look at just really fast here before we get going to the next the next contract is I want to show off all the product that we have from the couple of production points that we added from the last Let's Play episode. So if we take a look, nope, wrong direction. There we go. Let's see, down. Nope, right here. Wow, 50,000 liters of pellets. I'm sorry, I saw the red bar there and I originally thought that was my pellet bar, so I was kind of in shock there for a second. But yeah, 50,000 liters of pellets so far. That's going to be a nice payout, but we are full on lime. 100% full, and we've got 83,000 that are still left to be produced. I mean, I could just run these out and get the money from the lime. But one thing I did notice after installing this on this map, that the stone statues don't work here, which I thought was really odd. I don't know why that happened, but again, another quirk about this map, I guess. Take a drink real quick. Gotta make sure I stay hydrated. Again, every time, Dust Bunny, thank you. Every time I think of you whenever I take a drink now during streams. Let's see. So we've got fertilizer. But I absolutely love it. Let's see. So we're going to finish out this, and then we're going to look to... Actually, I could probably... Don't even have to wait. Why am I waiting? Collect. So yeah, over 11 grand in those two right there. And let's go ahead and accept. Perfect. And let's see, we've got a... Okay, both of these are hay contracts. So 104 and 108. Where's 104 and 108? 104. Where are you? Okay, 108's the little one to the west. Where is 104? 104 is out to the east. Okay. Okay, so two small contracts. That's not too terrible. Those will just do the contracts themselves because I've got all the equipment for it. Fertilizer, get one more. There we go. All right, now we're going up to 69 up in the top corner there. So that way we can just kind of go to town. Get this done. But yeah, no, like I was saying though, it's one of those that in the ideal scenario we would homeschool. Just even if all the stuff wasn't happening, like all the kind of nonsense in the world that's going on wasn't happening, I still would love to be able to homeschool my kids. Just because it's a more, you know, it's more one-on-one. And a child is always going to learn better with that one-on-one kind of interface rather than having, 30 kids, 30 plus in a classroom, and, you get one problem child in the room, it disrupts it for the entire room, kind of thing. And, heaven forbid, your kids struggling. I mean, I remember when I was growing up and there was one subject that was really struggling. It was actually the same teacher that I was questioning of whether or not they'd be, into this kind of weirdo kind of stuff, nowadays. Um, her and I had a lot of, going round and round, uh, because I would go to them and tell them, it's like, hey, I'm really struggling with this, and I'm really trying hard to figure out what it is I need to do to be able to be on the proper level for this. So what is it that I'm missing? And would never ever offer any sort of help. They would always just kind of blow off any concerns that I had, like, such and such doesn't make sense. Oh, well, you know sorry that you didn't catch it, kind of thing. I mean, there was literally times where they were like, oh, well, that's on you, figure it out, kind of thing. And it's like, well, isn't it your job to teach? Isn't it your job to help me if I'm telling you that I'm struggling with a concept, kind of thing? And they just would just completely blow off anything that I would tell them. So to where eventually it worked out to where I just stopped going to them. And there was actually several times where I'd gone to the main office to file complaints because I didn't feel like I was being, you know, that I wasn't being treated with the amount of, you know, I don't want to say respect because I was a kid, so I'm not necessarily deserving of respect, but my issues weren't treated with the amount of concern that a good teacher should have for their student, kind of thing. And look, I told them, it's like, I'll stay after class. I will, I'm sitting here willing to put in the work, kind of thing. But it's just one of those that they just could not be bothered. And it was really, like, especially now that I'm a bit older and kind of seeing it through the eyes of an adult, at the time it was just like, well, that's really kind of crappy of you, kind of thing. But one of those that, it was what it was at the time. But looking at it now through the eyes of a parent, and with some, with some additional knowledge under my belt, it's one of those that, I wish I would have spoke up more. I wish I would have, kind of told my parents about it and let them know, hey, I'm really struggling in this class, instead of waiting until, you know, report cards showed up and then it was kind of a surprise to them and a surprise to everyone kind of thing. And I was, I wasn't like a straight A student or nothing like that, but I was, I was definitely on a roll, kind of thing. I was, certainly not going to be, valedictorian or nothing, but I was definitely up there. But it was one of those where I wish I would have spoke up sooner and would have had my questions and concerns addressed, then, rather than, being here now and certainly complaining about it. But um, I don't know. But again, I feel like a good teacher would have, put in that, would have seen that I was struggling, would have seen that I was like, hey, I'm willing to do the work. It's not that I'm just trying to get the answers kind of thing. Is I just want to understand kind of thing. And it was like they just couldn't be bothered. But I mean, that was 20 plus years ago. It is what it is. And, I survived high school and, did okay. Like I said, out of 72 72 graduating kids, I was probably, I don't know, I think I was like 20th overall or something like that. I was up there, but not the upper echelon or the cream of the crop kind of thing. But anywho, like I said, you know what? And I just take a look at my screen to see that the BDD farmhand's scrolling by. So let's go ahead and point that out real quick so I have that off the bucket list. So I want to give a huge shout out to my Tier 2 members. Thank you so much, Mark K. I greatly appreciate you being a Tier 2 member, as well as Deco71. Thank you so much for being a Tier 2 member. I greatly appreciate both of you for helping to support the channel and, doing what you can to show that, you have the confidence in me to support this channel financially, as well as the to help the sustainability and help the growth. But if you are interested in being a channel member, go ahead and check out the main channel page and the join button. There you will find that there's two tiers available there, one for 99 cents, another for $4.99 a month. And there you'll receive various types of perks depending on which level you sign up for. The 99 cents, you'll gain access to early access to edited content such as the Let's Plays and channel shorts. You will also gain access to custom emojis, custom badges, and things like that. Now the tier 2s, as you just heard, they get access to the shoutouts for every single live stream. So again, if you're at all interested in helping out the channel, helping the sustainability and the channel's growth, go ahead and check it out. And like I said, it helps out a ton. But as I always try and mention though, it is not mandatory, not necessary kind of thing. It's one of those that only do it if you can, and it's greatly appreciated. Let's see, let's finish that. Yeah, like, sorry, I just kind of trailed off because the end of the contract there. But one of those certainly is not necessary. I set it up specifically to where it's only intended to be a method for if you want to, and if you want to help support the channel, that's a method that is a way in which you can. I don't know what is up with me tonight, but I have been getting tongue-tied all day today. I was at work today and I was sitting there talking to my boss, and I really like my new boss, and it's very rare, I think, nowadays that people can really be like, yes, I really like my boss, kind of thing. And I've been very lucky in my career that I've avoided a lot of those really bad bosses, and I've been around them, but thankfully I've not been under them. But my several bosses, like in a row, because I've been with the company I've been for now for almost 18 years. So I've had bosses come and I've had them go, kind of thing, over the years. And I've not once had a boss where I'm like, oh man, I can't stand this guy. I can't, this person's so mean, or this person this, or this person that. Nothing like that whatsoever. I've been incredibly, incredibly fortunate, incredibly lucky, for that. And there's been times where I've seen, like I said, I've seen the really dark kind of bosses, like the real jerks. We had this one guy who worked for our company, and this person was just the absolute worst kind of person. So there was one time I was in an elevator with this person, and he was sitting there having a conversation with somebody else, and all of a sudden he let this really nasty, nasty word out, and this person, like, sorry, this other person who was in the elevator with us. So there's a total of 4 people in the elevator. The other person, she let out an audible gasp as to what was being said, and it was incredibly inappropriate, especially for a work environment. And he looks this woman dead in the face, and he's like, you say one word to anybody, I guarantee they will believe me long before they believe you. He said this right in front of me. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, game on. At that point, I wasn't playing games. Because I've seen this guy just get nasty in, like, boardroom meetings and just all this kind of really gnarly stuff. So after everything was said and done, I went and talked to the girl who was on the elevator. I didn't know her personally. We didn't interact. We weren't in the same department or anything like that. But I went up to her and was like, look, if you go to HR, over this, go ahead and drop my name in there as well, because I will validate and verify your story, kind of thing. Because that was incredibly inappropriate. It was not something that's appropriate for work, and he shouldn't be allowed to do or say anything like that. Like, that's just wrong. And she was very grateful, very appreciative, and she went ahead and went to HR. HR called me up and called me into their office, and I said my version of what had happened, and they said, "Yeah, that lines up with pretty much exactly what she said." Very, very inappropriate stuff, and is not allowed in the company. And it was, I think, within a matter of a few weeks, he was gone. He was out of the company. And it was one of those that I think he just assumed that because I was a guy that I was going to be okay with him talking to anybody like that. And here's the thing, is it wasn't that the conversation was necessarily like for guys' ears only or something like that, but it was something obvious that this person just was very offended by. And this happened so many years ago that I cannot remember exactly what was said about it. I just remember the visceral reaction that she had, and the kind of gross feeling that I had after hearing it. Like, it was very inappropriate, and very much so that I felt uncomfortable with it. And that's what, ooh, I forgot about all those being there. So it was just one of those, like, when everything was said and done, it was like, no, that's not gonna fly. And especially him being so, you know like, aggressive to this person, be like, if you say anything, they'll believe me long before you, kind of thing. Like, no, that's not cool. That's not cool at all. And I'm the kind of person who, I don't stand back when people are being bullied. So case in point, this is going all the way back to high school. One of my closest friends in high school, unfortunately we don't talk much anymore, Um, and it's a shame because I really liked him growing up. He was a really, really nice guy. But the way that we actually started being friends was, and he was just one of those kind of stereotypical, very kind of nerdy kids, you know, glasses, kind of shuffle walked, you know, head down all the time, was very like not confident whatsoever, you know, in himself or anything, you know, that was going on in his life, kind of thing. It was just really kind of sad kind of stuff. Well, he would get picked on all the time. Well, finally one day I saw it firsthand. Somebody was picking on him, and I'm a 6'2", maybe at the time I was, you know, maybe 6 foot back in high school, you know, maybe give or take. Um, you know, I'm not a small man whatsoever, and this particular person was picking on him, you know, something fierce. He was sitting there, kind of flicking him in his ears, and and I watched it. I just watched the whole thing, and I've never been okay with just watching, you know, bullying, ever. You know, that's why I don't understand the world that we live in now, where people will just watch things happen and will just break out their phone and just assume, like, hey, I'm going to post this to the internet and I'm going to become internet famous, kind of thing. I never understood that kind of mentality or in that kind of thing. It's like, no, if you have the ability to do something about it, you know, to prevent somebody from being hurt or experiencing that kind of pain, you know, and they're not able to, you know, help themselves, help them. Don't just stand by, because there's just, you'll never know what kind of, you know, thing will happen, you know, beyond that interaction of you just sitting back and just letting things happen, you know. Like I said, anyways, so to continue on with the story, um it was, you know, I'm sitting there just watching him just, you know, pick on him and flick him in the ear and just doing all this kind of really kind of gross stuff to him. And finally I got mad. It's like, hey, you know, and I came up from behind my buddy, you know, who eventually became my buddy. I came up from behind him and I took my palm of my hand square into the chest of this kid, and, you know, threw him down to the ground. It's like, you are not going to do this ever again. I looked at him square in the face. You will never do this again, or you are dealing with me. And at the time, I was significantly bigger than this kid, so that was all it took. It was just, hey, you know, I've got his back. Leave him alone. This is not continuing on beyond this point, kind of thing. Now you've been warned. And it was one of those that, you know, I gave the kid a tap on the back and said, hey, you know, don't worry about it. He's just a jerk. You know, everything's going to be cool. And he was like a grade below me at the time. Um, so later on that day, I'm sitting there at lunch and he comes over and he's like, hey, you know, can I talk to you? Kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, of course. Come on. You know, told him go ahead and sit down. And he's like, hey, you know, I really wanted to thank you for what you did. You know, that's really cool of you. You know, it's one of those that I get picked on all the time, and it's just, you know, not one of those kind of things in his nature to kind of fight back or to do anything like that. But, you know, he greatly appreciated, you know, me stepping in for him and kind of defending him, kind of thing. And it was one of those that it's like, hey, you know, it's one of those. I was trying to, I guess at the time, trying to boost his confidence. Like, hey, man, you know, it's one of those that you can't be afraid to put your foot down, kind of thing, because eventually what's going to happen is either you're going to overcorrect, you're either going to, you know, come in and you're going to hurt somebody, you know, beyond what would then be, you know, you being, you know, considered the victim, you know, or you're just going to be, you know, this kid's doormat your whole life. Neither scenario is good. So don't tolerate it. And it's one of those things that, hey, you might get into a fight and you might lose, but at least you put your foot down, kind of thing, and you can hold your head up high as saying, you know what, I'm not going to tolerate this garbage anymore. And from that day on, we were really good friends. I ended up meeting, a lot of his friends at the time who was, a lot of the socially awkward kids, but all really good guys, at the end of the day. And, he ended up becoming a member in the Air Force, kind of thing. So, he really, really good dude. Like I said, it's a real shame that I don't get to talk to him because it turns out we don't live that far away from each other. We grew up in the same town kind of thing for years, and now, through fate and circumstances, he's, just, a couple hours away from me kind of thing. And it's one of those, we talk on occasion, but we don't like ever make plans to hang out and do anything. So, but that's also the unfortunate part about being an adult, especially having kids. He's got a kid, I've got a kid, and you know, you really can't plan too many grand trips out of your way to, see old friends, kind of thing. Which I wish I could. I really do. I wish I could just, you know, go out and say hi, kind of thing. It's just time and money, time and money. But no, like I said, he introduced me to, several of his friends. Like I said, were the socially kind of awkward, especially at the time. Um, but one of those friends, became one of my good friends too, and he ended up becoming a United States Marine. Real good guy. Again, somebody I haven't spoken to in a while, and I wish that wasn't the case. Actually lived with him for a few years. I think it was like almost a year and a half as we lived together. And yeah, real good dude. Unfortunately, he got into a little bit of trouble, uh, with alcohol and stuff. But I think he's kind of reeled that stuff in. I think it just took the one kind of scare that he had, and I think he was pretty much done with it from there, kind of thing. So good on him. And then also met another buddy of mine. We also lived together for a few years. He ended up working with my father, and one of those things that him and I actually still talk to this day. So it's really good to kind of chat and hang out with them, and you know reminisce about old times, kind of thing. Let's see. So all that's good. So let's go ahead and get the tether. I think if this is a hay contract, right? Yep, it is. Oh, you know what? I'll accept that one too, and I'll just mow it and then ted everything. So they're both tedding. Yep, both tedding. Cool. One of those, no sense in coming around and not doing all the work that you can do. At least that's the way I see it. But yeah, no, like I said, it's one of those that I don't like to see bullying whatsoever. It just bothers me to my core, and it's just the way I grew up, the way I was taught is when you see somebody who cannot defend themselves and you have the means to defend them, and only use the minimal amount of force that's necessary to do it. Like don't go out of your way and freaking it just pummel somebody just because, kind of thing. Use the minimum amount of force necessary to get the desired result. Which is why when I shoved down that kid way back in high school, it was one of those, like, that's all it took. That's all it took, and he left him alone. He didn't say a word to my buddy after that point, or at least not that anybody told me, kind of thing. And my buddy knew that I had his back at that point. He knew that I didn't gain anything besides his friendship at that point. You know, and that's all I needed. That's and it was one of those things at the time too. He said that was something that really surprised him, that I, stood up for him, kind of thing. Because at the time, I was on the football team, and one of those kind of, I was kind of a jock, and he didn't think that he'd ever have a friend that was, kind of like that kind of thing. He just never anticipated that to be, in the cards, kind of thing. And it's like, look, man, I'll tell you, you know, that you can't judge people, based on, certain criteria, kind of thing. Oftentimes what you judge, especially off the top of your head, oftentimes it's wrong. Now sometimes you can get a pretty accurate gauge on people. That's certainly true, but it's one of those that you can't just assume that something's going to be this way, kind of thing. You need to kind of explore and figure things out for yourself, kind of thing. He's like, oh no, I get it, but it's just one of those that through my experiences, jocks never really kind of did anything besides, their jocks, and they didn't really they just hung out with themselves, with their kind of in group. And it's like, yeah, no, I get it. It's one of those that people tend to cluster around things that are familiar to them. That makes sense, kind of thing. But there's people like me who will be, you know, I'll make friends with anybody, kind of thing. It doesn't matter who they are, kind of thing. As long as you're a decent person and whatnot, then one of those will get along, kind of thing. So and that's one of those things that I think back to when I was in high school, and like I said, I was a jock, and I played football for in high school and all that stuff, but I received my fair share of being picked on and all that stuff. That was certainly in the deck as well, but it was also one of those things that I would very often just let things go, kind of thing. And it wasn't until I started standing up for myself when it finally stopped. That's when it finally stopped. Is I was like, okay, I'm done with this, and yes, I'm going to be punished. I'm going to get into trouble with the school, but I'm not going to be made a victim my whole life, kind of thing. I'm going to stand up for myself and really kind of you know take control of the situation. And there were times where I won some and I lost some, kind of thing. But it was one of those things that, after everything was said and done, every single time, the issue was resolved. Because they knew I wasn't going to be messed with anymore. So, like I said, I'm not saying that, every situation requires you to you know, do something like that, but certainly don't let yourself be made into a victim, and certainly don't take on a victim mentality. Because for a long time there too, when I was getting picked on, that's something that I was doing, is I was just kind of whole hum and getting depressed and bummed out, kind of thing. And it was one of those that, it was just a reinforcing cycle, that I'd have a bad day at school or something like that, and then it would just kind of you know ruin my evenings, and then I would go back to school and another bad day, and it would just kind of reinforce, kind of thing. And it wasn't until I finally said, you know what, no, I'm not going to let these people treat me this way anymore. I'm not going to tolerate it anymore. I'm going to do something about it. And like I said, I took the punishment kind of thing. You know, I was suspended from school you know, for doing that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, although I was being punished, and here's the thing too, is I also included my parents in that conversation. I was telling them, hey, you know, I'm getting picked on, or hey, this is happening, kind of thing. And they told me, it's like, you know, you do what you have to do, and we will support you, because we went to the school. We went to the school to try and get it resolved, and you know, to not have it to go to the situation that it went to. But the school didn't do anything about it. They didn't do anything. They didn't punish anybody. They didn't say, hey, you know, this is not acceptable. They just basically gave, you know, the people involved a slap on the wrist, and told everyone, have a nice day, kind of thing. So it's just one of those that eventually I had to take, you know, matters in my own hands, kind of thing. And, you know, like I said, it's just, I've never been one to live with a victim mentality. I don't think anybody should. You know, if you live with a victor's mentality, that you're going to do something, you're going to accomplish something, that you're going to, you know, change your life, or you're going to change something that you're not happy with, then that's going to get you a lot further in life than sitting there and ho-humming about things, than you know, wallowing in you know, despair. You know, look, I get it. There's certain things out there that, you know, genuinely will make people a victim, kind of thing. But it's the mentality that's what's so incredibly important. Are you going to live with that victim mentality, even though you may be a genuine victim of something? Or are you going to just take control and say, you know what, this doesn't define me? This isn't what I am. And that's what I learned very early on, you know, back in high school, is I'm not going to let others define me. I am not going to be, you know, the things that these people are picking on me for. And then eventually I took that on as a, you know, this is how I break the cycle, kind of thing. This is how this ends, kind of mentality. And thankfully it did. You know, like I said, it took, you know, one incident like that where, you know, that person was picking on me, and finally I had enough, and it was done, kind of thing. Didn't hear from them ever again after that, kind of thing. It's not that they didn't go to the same school as me. It's not that they, you know, magically turned into a great person. But it was just one of those that the they knew that I wasn't going to tolerate it anymore. And because of that, you know, things changed. My confidence changed. My ability to just, I still let things roll off my back, kind of thing. But there's a line. There's certainly a point of no return. And once that line is crossed, then there's going to be repercussions. There's going to be, you know, a very angry big person on the other end. So, like I said, one of those that you know, this isn't necessarily advice, but it's one of those that this is what worked for me, kind of thing. So, don't you know, don't don't take it as if I'm saying, this is what you got to do to solve all your problems, or anything like that. That'd be a very, if I was making that claim, that'd be a very naive thing of me to say, kind of thing. But you'd be amazed with what a positive attitude and a victor's mentality will get you. You'd be amazed with, the type of life changes, like how your life changes when you kind of reel back and realize, okay, there's nothing I can do about everybody. Some people suck, but I'm not going to let what they do define me. I'm going to be the person that I want to be, and that's it. That's it. It's whoops, wrong button. And once you take on that kind of mentality where you're just like, okay, this is how I'm going to live, this is how I'm going to be defined. I'm defined by my rules and not anybody else's. Then you can, hold your head up high, kind of thing. I know I've been kind of ranting about this for a little while now, and I apologize for that. But it's just something that I'm personally kind of passionate about, because it's something that affected me a long time ago, kind of thing. And especially now that I have a daughter, the probability that she gets picked on when she gets older is going to be up there. That's likely going to happen. You know, and I know kids nowadays, in my personal life, that have gone through bullying and all that stuff. Typical school stuff, kind of thing. And I would tell them the same exact things I said here tonight. You know, don't take on that victim mindset. Don't do it, because the moment you take on that victim's mindset, whoever's doing those things to has won. They have already won, because they know that that's something that's going to get to you. They know that you are just going to either be submissive to whatever it is they're doing, or that you're just going to, at minimum, tolerate what it is they're doing. But the moment you sit there and say, I am a victor, I am not a victim, and I will not allow you to treat me in such a way, that's when you can really kind of, you know, grab life by the horns and take control, kind of thing. And like I said, this isn't advice. I'm not saying that, you need to go out and, do this kind of thing, and it's, especially if any children or any kids are listening to this right now, make sure you're telling your parents. Talk to your parents, because you might think that they might not understand, or they might not be able to help, or they, whatever the case may be. Parents will surprise you. They will 100% surprise you. And what I mean by that is that most parents want the best for their kids, and it may not align with what you think is the best for you at that point in time, but oftentimes they're working with a lot of experience, and may have even experienced the things that you are going through at the time. So at bare minimum, give them a chance. Talk to them and let them know what it is that you're going through in life, because they may surprise you. And they may be able to, if they aren't able to help in the immediate, this is what I need kind of thing, and they're not able to get you that thing, they might be able to point you in a direction that may be, something else that you may not have considered. So, like I said, it's one of those that this advice isn't universal, it isn't going to work for everybody, and I'm not trying to come off as I'm saying, this is, what you should do, kind of thing. But one of those that, you know, always keep an open mind about everything, kind of thing. Don't just, shut down to things, and always try to come up with the most positive solution that you can. But anyways, now that that whole kind of rant is over, and I'm not even quite sure why I went on it. It just, I don't know, something that I felt needed to be said, I guess. But yeah, it's wow. It is 11:40 already. Wow, that is just incredible. The time is just flying by. Let's see. We got let's see, nothing in the chat, so we're just kind of hanging out here and tedding some grass. It's working out really good so far. I'm glad that I accepted that second contract. I don't know why I only did the one and just kind of was gonna do everything for the first one and then nothing for the second one. It just, I don't know what I was thinking. But this is working out really well. And we'll get the tedding done here, and then we'll get the tedding done at the other field, the 108. I tell you what, I really do like this windrower. I wish there was another windrower that was similar to this, that, or I'm sorry, not a windrower, but a tedder. I wish there was another tedder out there that was similar to this, but it was a bit wider of a pickup kind of thing. Because although this tedder is nice, there's a lot of tedders out there that will just fling all the grass out there in all different directions, and then you gotta re-windrow it and pick it all. Gotta re-pick it all up, kind of thing. So it's just one of those. Like, this one's really nice because you don't necessarily have to go through all the extra effort of, tedding, re-windrow. It's all like one pass and you're done, kind of thing. So I do prefer this I keep calling it windrower, this tedder, over a lot of the other ones, specifically because it'll keep the swath. But the advantage of the other tedders is that you can do a lot more in the single pass. Oh, and I need to pause the stream just really fast. I'll be right back. Alrighty, I am back. Just need to, let's see. Got all that stuff back. Eric the Crazy Viking, hey, how's it going? How you doing tonight? Let's see. Don't know if you're out there during the little bit of the ranty pants that I had on just a little bit ago. Again, I don't know why I just kind of went into that little, victim and victor mentality. I don't know. One of those that I guess the world may never know. Just swing the mic out just a little bit further. So we'll go ahead and get this field all nice and tedded up. Oops. Let's see. And then Dust Bunny says, "Good evening, Mr. Eric the Crazy Viking." So yeah, like I said, we're just gonna go ahead and finish doing this this field. Once this field is done, we'll go and grab the baler. We'll make all the hay bales that we need, and then we should be good to go. And actually, we could probably, because I think that's the end of contracts. Yeah, that is the end of contracts. After that, um, so yeah, that'll actually kind of put us in a good space where we'll be able to start wrapping things up. So. Oh yeah, this is working out nicely. Love it, love it. Let's see, Eric says, "Morning Dust Bunny." There we go, perfect. We'll just keep this mowing. Wow, I'm switching out all the words tonight. Yeah, we're just gonna keep on chugging along here. We're gonna make all this hay, bale the two. We're gonna take them. Do they both go to the same location? Forward sell point. Perfect, perfect. So we will get that all taken care of. Collecting the contracts, which we are doing really good on money right now. And again, like I was pointing out earlier, we've got a ton of money that we just haven't collected on yet. You know, as I mentioned, we've got all that money that's tied up in the pellets. If we look here, 53,000. We checked it just a little bit ago, is at 50,000. So this thing is just chugging along. It is making up some major good stuff. Let's see. So take that here and boop. Perfect. I am so happy with all this. This is really working out so nicely. And even with, like I've said, this map is really buggy. There's so many different things that have just kind of popped up over, this entire Let's Play series. Again, 19 episodes in, we are probably beyond the halfway point as we sit now, but it's just one of those that even with all these kind of weird issues that keep popping up, like I just mentioned the stone factory. I just installed that in the last episode. The stone factory doesn't make all the potential outputs on this map. For some reason, it's leaving out stone statues. Don't know why. It just is, and it's weird. It's very weird. So one of those we will continue to play. We'll continue to live with it. It's not, the end of the world. Certainly not the end of the world kind of thing. But it's one of those where, you know, you eventually get to the point, especially like if we weren't doing a Let's Play series, if I was just playing this on my own, it's one of those where each of the individual issues that have popped up until this point, with the exception of the grapes being destroyed at the very beginning of the Let's Play series, with the exception of that, it's eventually going to get to the point for the casual player of death by a thousand cuts kind of thing. It's like all these little things are just going to add up and add up and add up, and eventually, it's going to be like, what, I'm done with this map because of all the issues I've encountered kind of thing. That's not what I'm saying for this series, because we're in the middle of a series, and unless it's a huge catastrophic failure, we're not just going to kind of cut bait on it. But like I said, for the casual gamer, I could see like a lot of these kind of being like, okay, well, I'm done with this kind of thing, because some of them are really kind of atrocious. Like the sheep. Perfect example is the sheep. Them being in the middle of a field that I don't own, kind of thing. I mean, if I was just playing and was really caring about like the aesthetics and all that stuff, that would be, one of those like, oh, well, that's really kind of disappointing. I don't like that it's happening. Let me, I'll take everything else into totality, and once I have everything into totality, I'll realize, okay, it's just not worth all the extra kind of steps I'm having to take to make this map work. So I'll just go and find another map that isn't experiencing all these issues. So with with all that, it's just one of those, you gotta take that into consideration, I guess, when playing this map for certain. But just any map in general is once you come across these kind of issues and whatnot, and there's no expected ETA as to when or if those issues are going to be addressed and fixed, then you just got to make a decision from that point and be like, okay, well, is it worth continuing on, or should I consider cutting bait? And like I said, we got a kind of a higher bar for whether or not we're gonna cut bait on this map, because we're in the middle of a series. We don't want to just cut bait if we don't have to, kind of thing. And it's actually funny. Just kind of occurred to me. So if I didn't choose this map as the map I was going to do, the other map that I was going to do as a Let's Play series was one called Between the Mountains. And I personally think that is a gorgeous map. I think it's a absolutely beautiful map. Now, the problem with that map is, again, there's all sorts of issues on that map. So one of the things that's unique about it, and again, it was one of those, I was specifically looking for a map with already pre-built vineyards that was already established, so I could kind of let the series kind of play out the way that this one is. And what ended up happening is, when I loaded into the game, excuse me, when I loaded into the game, I ended up realizing that the wine cellar that was a custom mod on the vineyard was floating about 5 feet in the air, and the only way to fix it was to do some kind of single player multiplayer magic to get everything to kind of work properly. But then I discovered that there were other issues that were involved that just were not able to be addressed, kind of thing. So it was one of those that I decided, okay, unfortunately, and I would have wanted to do that one because of just the topography. I think is really cool on that map. The vineyard is much larger, and it didn't have all the kind of complicating factors of the white grapes having its own harvester and own like pruning tools and all that kind of stuff. It was just the normal red grapes, and you were kind of good to go from there. There we go. And now we need to bale. Oh, what? What? Oh, I forgot this is the front. What am I doing? Oh my goodness, I forgot. Normally I do a trailed windrower, and this one I decided I'll do a front windrower, and for some reason just was not computing at all. I don't know why. Just one of those kind of goofy moments, I guess. Wait a minute, did I ever roll? I did roll this, right? Yes, I did. Okay. Okay, I did. Cool. One of those I had to think about it. It's like, wait a minute, I think I remember getting a roller and rolling this out. Okay, so we've got an 83% made alfalfa bale already in here. I wonder... Ooh, Nelly. I wonder... we'll go this way. Why not? I wonder if that's going to convert into a hay or if it's going to spit out as a alfalfa bale. I mean, it's not going to be a big deal if it doesn't. It's going to be the same size. I'll pick it up and I'll just sell it off. But just one of those would be nice to know. What I love about this, these are 4,000 liter pallets. These things are massive. Now, I don't remember them being this heavy on other Let's Plays I've done. I don't remember being this big, this heavy. But I also like this because you can get the lime out from here and you don't have to necessarily have it in bags like this. So that's really cool. Oops. Apparently I parked too close to their lane or something. Alright, so let's go and make some bales. Get this all worked out. No, don't pull out in front of me. Don't do that. It's one of those, I know why the AI or the drivers that or traffic splines work the way they do. I know that, but it's like I wish there was just something a little bit more intelligent about them. Oh, look at that field. Look at that gorgeous field. Love it. Just cannot wait. Cannot wait to be able to mow that next month. As you can see, this field here, this portion of it, this is in stage 2 right here already. This is ready to be harvested. This, on the other hand, is still, wait. Ooh. It's ready to harvest. This is stage 1 harvesting. Ooh, which means next month we are going to harvest all this. Oh, yes. We are going to have a big harvest. A big, big harvest. I cannot wait. Oh, boy. Who else out there is ready for a massive silage harvest? Oh. I cannot wait. I need to try and remember to reset my bale count to make sure that I can just get an accurate tally as to how many bales get made. Let's see, that's down, that's open, that's down, and open. There we go. There that goes. All right. I didn't bother to see if that was turned into hay or still alfalfa. I think it got turned into hay. Yeah, it looks like hay to me. Grass? What? Maybe hay after it's spit out? Let's see what it is when it gets out in the ground. There it goes. Okay, now... Hey, okay. Was I looking at the wrong... I was looking at the wrong one. Okay. So I was looking at the different... I was looking at the field info and not the actual information for the bale itself. Way to go, Dave. Way to go. Let's see. Oops. Let's not miss any. There we go. Perfect. So yeah, so far we're doing fantastic. We're just gonna get the bale collector after this, and then should be pretty good at that point. And the unfortunate part is we're doing hay, so if hay doesn't pay out as well as, you know, silage does, but we'll still get make some money. I tell you what, I really do like this windrower. It is so flexible as to the contours of the land. It will bend and flex, you know, to a certain degree at least. But it's certainly one of those that, you know, compared to some of the other windrowers, I feel like this one is the kind of the more versatile of, you know, changes in the landscape, like what we got here. Oh, hey, there's more bales. Oh, my goodness. There we go. Okay. Whew. There we go. Okay, now big sweep. I don't know why, but something just came into my head. Again, it's one of those random thoughts. You know, like there was a thing way back in the day on the internet. I think it was called shower thoughts. Well, I think I just had a shower thought. Is what I'm doing here, the windrowing and baling, is this the vacuuming of the farm world? Is this like, yeah, is this the vacuuming of the farm world? Hashtag shower thoughts. Again, don't no idea. Don't know why. That just came into my head. And like I said, shower thoughts is like several years old, so I don't know why all of a sudden that just like, oh hey, that's a thing. You know, for anybody out there in the audience right now, let me know your either funniest or just some kind of shower thought. If you're not, again, if you're not familiar with what a shower thought is, just one of those random things that you think about that is normally you think of it in the shower, and then the moment you leave the shower, it's gone just as quick as it came through, kind of thing. It's almost like the dream of the thought world. Okay, there we go. Now let's turn that off, eject, lift, and then turn that off and lift. There we go. Now field number 2. Oh, come on, make it up the hill. You got this. You got this. Come on, little blue New Holland. So with this baler so far, I've made 258 bales. I feel like I'm going to get 258 bales just off of that one field. And it's one of those things too. I might get a bigger windrower. Like I might put in the extensions just to be able to get multiple paths. I don't know. That part I'm not sure about. I may and I may not. But we are definitely gonna have to get bigger machines, especially for that field. That field there is going to be a time cruncher. Like that thing is going to take forever. We're going to have to get in probably the most outer periphery done and mowed, and then just set the worker off and let them go to town, kind of thing. And especially if we can get to the Big M mower, that'd be nice to have, just because you can kind of do the fast farm with it. So it'd be really nice to be able to just kind of chug around and get that all accomplished. Okay, lower that down. Finish unfolding that. And here we go. Field number 2. And neither one of these fields were that huge. So it was really nice to be able to just kind of chug around real quick, get them all picked up and done. Okay. There we go. Let's see. Let's just go straight through here. Yep, there we go. Perfect. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't do that. Don't do that. Alright, cool. Wait a minute. What happened there? Did I miss that? Huh. I have no idea what just happened there. There we go. We're getting there. Ooh, man. I cannot. I'm just blown away. Where did this time went? We started this at 9:30 and it's already 12:10 Eastern time. I just This is just amazing. Like I just cannot believe all this time is gone. You figure in 20 minutes it's going to be a 3-hour stream and it feels like I just started. I mean, I obviously know that I didn't. We've gotten so much done. We got the fields over at the farm done. We got, uh, let's see, we got them plowed, we got them planted, we got them fertilized, limed, rolled, stone picked. Like, we've got tons and tons of stuff done today. We've got several contracts, including these two bale contracts that we're working on right now. Like, we haven't just been sitting around doing nothing. But I guess that's probably why is, we're staying busy and we're keeping engaged with the conversations that are taking place. Going on a rant or two earlier in the stream here. Just one of those, like, where'd the time go? But I hope everybody's had a good time so far. One of those, like I said, we're going to start winding things down here shortly. We're going to go ahead and, get all the bales picked up and sent over to the forage drop off, the forage sell point. And then once we got everything there all taken care of, we will, make our money from the contracts and probably call it quits after that. But right now we're just doing what we can to finish this up. Oh, and I did smack it. I was thinking, I might miss that bale. I might miss that. Nope. Wrong. For anybody out there who's familiar with old school memes, does anybody remember the old meme where it was the Superman from back in the 2000s? It might have been late 90s, early 2s. Wait, no, I'm sorry, strike that. Late 2s, early 10s, I think. That era Superman, not the most recent one, not the Man of Steel, not anything like that, but anyways, it was that Superman, that Lex Luthor. I think Kevin Spacey played that Lex Luthor, if I'm not mistaken. But there was a meme way back in the day where it basically, if I remember right, I think it was a Scientology building, and then it cut to the movie The Sum of All Fears, where the nuclear device goes off in the United States, and just all sorts of obvious devastation and mayhem occur, but the explosion isn't the nuclear device in the meme. It's the Kevin Spacey playing Lex Luthor, screaming "wrong" at the building, and just the building just explodes. Like, glass shatters everywhere, and it's just cars barrel rolling and stuff like that. It's pretty funny. Just one of those, like I said, one of those old memes from back in the day, back before memes were memes. Let's see. Dust Bunny says, Mr. D, have you heard anything from CMAR yet? I've still not seen anything from her streams or comments. So I have not, Dust Bunny, and like I said, I am really, really worried about her. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from her whatsoever. Like I said, we were going, maybe once or twice a day, we were going through comments and, chatting back and forth, and then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, didn't hear anything from her. I wasn't necessarily going to talk about this, but it's because I'm worried that I'm going to mention it. She was one of the original Tier 2 members, and I don't know what happened, but she's no longer a member or anything like that. Like I said, I don't care about the membership at all. That's not. I'm just worried something happened to her, and I just don't know what. And I wish that I could hear from anybody that could tell me that bare minimum that she's okay, kind of thing. So it's just one of those. If anybody has heard anything from her or have seen her anywhere, can you just let somebody here at the channel know? Just let us know that she's okay. Because, like I said, it's just we were going like we were chatting at least once, twice, even multiple times a day, to all of a sudden not hearing a single thing from her. The membership expired, or just was canceled or something. Again, I could have said something that upset her, and she just went complete radio silent. I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know what I could have said to have offended her, but I just don't know if that's necessarily the case. I just don't know. So, oops, this way. And I certainly hope that that's not the case. I hope it's not that I just offended her and that she just, canceled the membership and all that stuff. But again, membership I don't care about. That's not what I care about. I care about her being okay. So, like I said, if anybody hears from her, anybody sees her around, just let somebody here who is regulars. Let myself, let Dust Bunny. Oop, 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 oop. Let myself, let Dust Bunny, let somebody know that you've at least seen her, and that we know that she's okay. Let's see. Do you have any type of contact from when she was a member? Does she have an email or anything? So, unfortunately, with the memberships, there's nothing like that I'm aware of. Um, like it doesn't give me any kind of like contact information for anybody, like in regards to like YouTube. It just doesn't tell me anything like that. The only thing that I could potentially do is potentially reply to one of her old comments and see if she replies back to it, kind of thing. I know there was a stint there like several weeks ago where she was on vacation for a couple. It wasn't a vacation, it was like I think she said it was a funeral out of state, kind of thing. And then she came back like a week or two later, and everything was as fine as it could be, kind of thing. But this one seems different because it's complete radio silence, and haven't heard anything from her in several weeks now. So just one of those. Like I said, I'm worried. I that's what's going through my head is I'm just worried for her, kind of thing. So we'll see. And then Dust Bunny also says, I don't think you said anything. I honestly think she's having serious health, and that's what unfortunately I'm afraid of. I know she had the health complications and stuff like that going on. Um, like I said, that's why I'm so worried. Is that I'm afraid that that's what's going on. Is that there's something going on that we're just not aware of, kind of thing. So, and here's the thing: is personally, like, I would much rather it be that I said something to offend her and that she just went radio silent. I would much prefer that, kind of thing, because then it wouldn't be something that would be necessarily the health issues. It would just be something that was between her and I, kind of thing, or something that wouldn't involve her health, is how I see it. So that's just yeah, that's just how I'm kind of rationalizing my brain. But let's see, the CFL Saskatchewan Roughriders. Hey, how's it going, Saskatchewan? How you doing? I'm sorry, but I forget your name. You said it in the last stream. You just hit 129 subs. Nice, bud. Congratulations. Glad to hear that. Just finished watching my NHL hockey. Ooh, hockey fan, are we? Game against Edmonton Oilers in Dallas starts. They lost 3-4. So being Saskatchewan, I'm presuming that you're the Edmontons. That's your team. And then Dust Bunny says, by all means, please post a comment on one of her older comments. Hopefully, she'll notice and respond. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I've been kind of like holding off as to if it was something that I did to say or like I said, I don't know what I could or would have said that could have offended her. So it was one of those I was kind of holding off, but now that it's been so long, it's one of those that I I, I fear it's like the health thing, and that might just be my overactive imagination. It might I don't know. It just like I said, I really hope that it's just that she just doesn't want anything to do with the channel anymore, and it's not health related. Let's see, I think that's all the bales here. Yeah, it looks like that's it. Let's see. See, Saskatchewan says, I'm a Saskatchewan Roughriders fan of the CFL. Anyone sports fan in chat? As a matter of fact, I'm a big hockey fan myself. I'm a Detroit Red Wings fan myself, and I've said many times, on the channel, hey, go Wings. Let's see. Just Money says, not I. But that's also why I tend to only mention it in passing, kind of thing. As this is just an eclectic group of people, and not everybody is a big sports fan. So I try not to put that as a huge focus. So I'll talk about it occasionally, but not go into any huge details, kind of thing. Let's see. CFL says, Dust, yes, you are. You're a Dallas Cowboys fan. Let's see. Be a sports fan, please. Let's see. So we're going to head off to the other field. So Saskatchewan, I haven't had a chance to check out your channel. What kind of content do you do? Do you just do like sports content, or? Oops. Easy there. Let's see. Dust Bunny says, Mr. D, did you see this comment? If you will let me know via which video of yours she last commented on, I will also send her a message via the comment. Absolutely, Dust Bunny. I'll definitely tell you which one that is. Saskatchewan says, I got Gleaner Combine R76 on FS22, Grain Farm on PC. Okay, nice. I do. Okay, FS22. So same content here. Sorry, Saskatchewan. I've never been been into sports of any kind. Let's see. So we're gonna go ahead and let's see. We got 9 bales right now. That means we got room for 5. With my luck, we'll probably have 6 over here. That's how it always works. That's how it always works. You get a contract and whatnot. You got just like X amount of space on there. It's always X plus 1. Well, I guess not in this case. At least it's going to make it worth the trip back. Oh, goodness. But yeah, Dust Bunny, like I said, I'll go ahead and I'll take a look at my comment string and I'll let you know which one's the last one she posted in. So hopefully, at minimum, if she doesn't reply back to me, for again for whatever reason, then hopefully she'll reply back to you and at least let us know that she's okay and nothing is to be concerned over. There we go. So 4 bales left over after this. And fold that away. Let's see. Saskatchewan says, I've been banned from Rusty, Eric, and Ronnie Johnson. Why is that, Saskatchewan? Just when he says, I'm not the athletic type, and most sports are rigged and not played fairly. You know what? I will 100% agree with that. There's definitely a lot of things that are not played to the up and up. I mean, take hockey for instance. I can't remember the referee's name, but um, it was one of those where he very very much made the game about himself. He interjected himself and was interviewed a couple of times saying how he would call penalties specifically to one, slow the game down, but two, to get kind of screen time kind of thing. I forget exactly how he put it. There we go. And money, money, money. 6,165. Nice, not bad. Saskatchewan says, I'm using the Capello corn header on my farm and harvesting corn tomorrow with 2 GR67 Gleaner combines. Corn, huge harvest tomorrow. Oh wow, 300 acres. Whew. That's gonna be one heck of a harvest right there. I know I'm looking forward to the grass harvest I got for the mega field on the other side of the map here. I'm looking forward to that one. Oops. And we'll go pick up those last 4, sell them off, and then we'll start kind of wrapping things up. But yeah, Dust Bunny, like I said, as soon as I get off the stream here tonight, I will send you that information. Oh, is there an extra one down here I didn't notice? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah, no, that was okay. No, I counted right. And then pick up these last 2. Oops. Let's see. Saskatchewan says, does have FS22 have mustard crops? Um, I mean, there might be a map out there that does mustard. I'm just not familiar with one off the top of my head. Let's see. Let's see. No mustard crops. Why were you banned from Rusty, Eric, and Ronnie's? See, says I'm using a 12 3mm corn. Whoops, I am reading and driving. That's not good. Corn header from Cape Elmo in my. And ask Rusty. Okay, well. Can certainly ask and see what's going on from their angle. Let's see. Oh, Eric says because he can't behave in chat and has been warned 100 times. Oh, well then, yeah, that's certainly something worth a banning if not behaving. Let's see. So we'll drop this off. Drop that. There we go. All right. Well, look, guys. This is one of those things that we're not going to get into a big old hubbubaloo on this channel either. Okay. So that's let's just. This is a place where we come to have some fun from everyone. Okay. So let's not go into a back and forth or tit for tat kind of stuff. Let's see. Dust Bunny says that certainly happens. There are rules that need to be followed, and when they're not, they're yeah, you know that's. But it's one of those. Let's see how things go on this channel, and just kind of go from there. It's one of those that we can certainly start fresh here and go from there. Let's see. Saskatchewan says, well, I'm heading out. Well, Saskatchewan, thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a great night. Again, congratulations on the, what was it, 129, I think is what you said. So congratulations on that. Hope you keep doing well. And let's see. Have a great night's sleep and enjoy your videos. Absolutely. Thank you. And Dust Bunny says, have a good night as well. All right, so now that we've got this all done, we'll go ahead and bam, bam. All right, well, I think we started at what, like $80,000, give or take, with the money, and now we're up to 100, almost 130. That's not bad. Plus the, what are we up to now? 56,000. 56,000 liters of pellets. I mean, yeah, we're gonna be doing just fine here very, very soon. Let's see. Let's. It's 10:32 here. Oh wow, yeah. So a few hours behind us here, and then yep, 129. Nice. Live in Saskatchewan. Very nice. Yeah, so like I said, have a great night, and we will hopefully see you again next time. So we're gonna go ahead and take all this equipment back to the farm. We're gonna park everything up, and then I think we're gonna be able to call it kind of good from here because yeah, it's one of those. I don't know if anybody else does this kind of stuff, but I've noticed that sometimes when you have no contracts, that if you kind of cycle through, like if you save, quit, fire the game back up, save, quit, fire the game back up, you can actually build up some contracts that aren't visible. Does anybody else do that, or is it just me? Like I know, like PC, I think there's some kind of mod to where you can kind of force it to cycle. Like you can push a button combination, and all of a sudden it just pops up, kind of thing, as if you were doing that kind of forced cycle boot or something. But yeah, no, one of those that that's typically how I go about trying to get additional contracts, is just kind of go through the cycle. But again, with it being 12:30 at night, oosh, we'll probably just end up calling it from here. Like I said, we're gonna put this stuff away. We're gonna double check a couple of things. We gotta check the chickens, sheep, and cows, make sure that everybody's all fed, happy, and good to go from there, that nothing needs to happen, and then we will do our sign off. There we go. Perfect. Okay. There we go, like that. Turn that off. Alright, let's see what we got here. So our cows. Oh, wow, we got 20,000 liters of milk. I should do something about that. Maybe buy the dairy and make some stuff. We've got plenty of water. We've got 20,000 liters of food. Yeah, should start thinking about filling that back up with some TMR. That's also why I'm wanting to get some straws, because I don't have a lot to be able to pad it with. I've got a decent amount. Chickens, how are they looking? 955, that's good. And then we should be good to go with the sheep. I'm pretty sure I topped them off here recently. Let's see. Pop that open. And let's see. Oh yeah, 22,000 liters of food, 17,000 liters of water. They're good to go. Let's go ahead and take that. There we go. Let's see. And Dust Bunny says, there's a really cool bottled milk factory that makes good money pretty fast. Yeah, so that is a really good mod. And I used it, I believe that's the same mod I used in the Valley of the Old Farm. Yeah, that's a really good mod. I really like that one. But I think we're at the end of this episode, because yeah, we've got pretty much everything done. The field is all good to go. Let's double check that. This field here. Yeah, so that's growing. Yeah, it should be good. So yeah, I think we're at the end. But I hope everybody enjoyed it. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms... Words are hard. All the things the algorithms enjoy you doing, that shows you're engaged with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope everybody has a fantastic day, night, weekend, day, night, evening, wherever you are in the world. Take care. Let's see. Thank you, sir, for another great stream. Say hello to the missus. I absolutely will. And like I said, Dust Bunny, I'm going to hop off right now, and I'll message you in just a few minutes, okay? But Eric, thanks for coming on. Saskatchewan, Jody, everybody, Dust Bunny, thank you all so much. We'll talk to you all later. Take care. Oh, and Hillbilly, also, thank you all. I greatly appreciate it. Y'all take care.